Now, this might just be the very best Attack on Titan mod out there. It's called Wings of Freedom by Lion Mobs, and it has only just recently come to 1.16.5, so let's have a look at what's in it. Okay, this mod adds 3 primary resources, the first of which is this, which is Ice Burst Veins. Now, these veins grow Ice Burst Stones, and they sort of grow like this, and they start making slightly annoying sounds every now and again. It'll help you find where they are. Anyway, there was the sound there. The other one of these resources are these, Iron Bamboo, which also occasionally make a weird sound. Now, they only grow on actual stone itself. There you go, it collapses like that. And you plant it like this, and they slowly grow up over time. Now, the thing with Ice Burst is that you really want to put it into one of these, an Ice Burst canister. Now, each canister can hold upwards of 10. So this one currently has none in it. But if I was to go on here and get this one's full with 10. To get the third resource for this mod, you're going to need to make yourself one of these, a blast furnace. This is made pretty much exclusively out of bricks and some new blocks. So, of course, we've got the stairs here, and then behind these we have a new block, the vertical brick slabs, which come not actually part of this mod, but as part of Lionheart, which is the sort of like sub-mod that you need. It's a companion mod, basically. And then brick walls up here, and then up to the top you've got the chimney. I'll put a link in the comments to the actual video showing how to make this, because it can be a bit weird at times. Anyway, you need these 3 furnace inputs on the side. On the other side, you put a single output. Then, in the middle, you put one of these, a blast furnace controller. Put it down, shift right click, and you've got yourself a blast furnace. For this to properly work, you need to put in 3 resources into the side, and as you can see, it shows you exactly what you need. So, let's go and grab my pre-prepared ones from earlier. Okay, we'll go and put a few of these in. We'll put 10 each. I don't think it actually matters how many you put in. I don't think it's like a set requirement thing. Then, we'll get ourselves some flint and steel. Right click, and you'll see it brings up the menu. So now, this is cooking. And when it gets hot enough, it will turn the resources into the side, and spurn them out here into ultra-hard steel, which is needed to make the blades. Now, you might notice that there are 2 special resources here, coke and the secret ingredient. Coke, insanely simple, I'll show you through JEI. You put coal in a furnace, and it creates coke. This will create problems with a lot of other mods. Quite a few mods have the exact same recipe, so that's something you're going to want to keep in mind. It might be helpful if you're going to create a mod pack to have a recipe changer. That's something that I personally quite often use. And then you've got these secret ingredients, which currently, they're not easy to get. They're drops from dungeons and places like that. There's no crafting recipe or anything. This is something they're going to be working on at a later date. So meanwhile, this cooks us up some ultra-hard steel. I'm going to come over here. Oh, we got a Titan there. These aren't actually from this mod, by the way. I'll explain why in a bit. But these are the other stuff we've got. So, first off, we've got these uniforms. Let me set it to day. So, of course, we've got one for each government branch, and then we've also got the government one over here. So we have cadets, scouts, garrison, military police. Oh, there's the sound again. Ah, see? Grows relatively quickly. And then over here, we've got this one as well. So, to actually craft stuff, you come over here and bring up this menu. Normally, the menu doesn't fly over like this. It's just the shader pack I'm using at the moment is creating a few problems. But it looks too cool that I can't be bothered to turn it off. So, as you can see through here, these all have different components and materials. And pretty much most of these recipes will involve one of the things I've made. So, either one of these, some iron bamboo, or some ultra hard steel that we're smelting now. Speaking of which, I forgot to show just a slight cool thing. We got the smoke coming out, and if you look inside, you can actually see it like smelting. Just something I thought was really cool. But of course, where would an Attack on Titan mod be without cannons? So, we've got this nice little cannon set up here. What we do, we grab the wall-mounted artillery. Just clear some room in my inventory. And the artillery comes in two forms. We've got the wall-mounted, which pop on here like this, and then we've also got the mobile cannons. And the mobile cannons, obviously, you sort of walk them back and forth like that. So, they're cool, but not as cool in my opinion as this one, which you can hop on, take it across the rails, as you can see, like a castle like this. You could quite easily, like in the show, have them up on top of the walls, aim them around, have them to fire. So, essentially, if you hold... Oh, did not mean to do that. If you hold right-click, you get a better aiming view, and that's how you aim. You cannot fire while aiming. Ideally, you'd want a second person, so that one person could move and aim, while the other person loads and fires. But there are two types of ammunition. We have grape shots, and we have high explosive shells. So we're going to use a grape shot on the mobile cannon, and we're going to use the high explosive shell on the wall cannon. Of course, you can mix and match these. It doesn't have to be like this. It's just the way I'm going to do it for this example. So, we load it. Now, where have those Titans gone? I had just seen... They seem to have disappeared. Either way, we'll go and get ourselves... We'll go and aim for, let's say, over there. Good. So as you can see, the grape shot, well, fires a grape shot. It fires a bunch of smaller explosives all at once. Not as much damage as the big one, but still, it's quite good if you've got a multitude of targets coming at you. So, let's actually aim this over here. Let's aim it at a building. There we go. We load you up. Shift right click again. Oh, what's going on here? There we go. And you see, this one does no damage to buildings. So, let's go over to the other one now. Okay, here we are at the wall-mounted cannon, and as you can see, we've got some very nice 15-meter Titans lined up for us to aim at. So, let's aim to about there. I don't think I'm actually going to hit this one. And then, load in the shell. The wall-mounted cannons do actually have a proper load animation. There we go. Hop on, make sure you're lined up again, and fire. So that one, that one went straight through. Yeah, these are two different mods, so I don't think the cannons are compatible with these Titans. I might as well say now, essentially, the only flaw of this mod is that it does not currently have Titans in it. They are aiming to add Titans, but this mod that I've got here that adds Titans are from a completely different mod, and it's a bit... I'll link in the description, but it is a bit finicky. As you can see, we've got these lines back here. You can sort of hit them, but it doesn't do any damage. You have to use it Shingeki no Kyojin Titans, and you just sort of have to hit them with their built-in swords. You can't use the swords from the other one. So, slightly disappointing, but it's not the end of the world. This mod's still in early stages, and the things they have shown of the Titans on their YouTube channel, very cool. Okay, so over here, there are two other weapons. We've got the classic musket, and of course, the iconic flare gun. So, for the musket, you need gunpowder and a musket ball in your inventory. Then, you simply reload. You can see at the bottom, it's reloading. And then, let's go and find ourselves something to kill. Okay, so over here, we've just got ourselves a normal zombie, and let's see how much damage this does. If he would stay still. Okay, so it doesn't seem to do too much damage, but a fair bit. Okay, 2 shots to kill a zombie. That's not awful. But, to be honest, the real standout weapon is, of course, the flare gun. So, the flare gun has 7 different coloured shells that you can use. For this one, we're going to go with green, because it reminds me of the Beast Titan. And then, we come over here. We simply click R, load someone from our inventory. We take aim, and fire. As simple as that. But now, at this point, we should have some ultra hard steel ready for us. Yep, we've got 9. So, you shift right click, and you have to do it like this to get them. And with these, you can then use these to make some blades. But what about the rest of the ODM gear? Well, you need to get yourself one of these TDM gear workbenches. So, you make the normal components over here, just as you do with the muskets, the cannons, and everything else. You get all the parts, and then you make them over here. Now, as you can notice, some of these are gold, some of these are iron. And essentially, the level of components you use will determine how good the gear is. So it's actually quite a level of customization here. Unfortunately, the customization isn't visible. It is all just mechanical, so that might be a shame to some people, but still, I think this is very cool. So, you get the components, you put them in here, and let me grab one that I was preparing earlier. Okay, so I just grabbed the things I'd made, and as you can see, we actually have two options to assemble. We can either assemble the TDM gear, or the anti-personnel gear. So if we click on here, it wants us to insert a chest plate, a turbine, two wire reel cases, but it looks like that I might have accidentally hypothetically made the wrong one. Let me go and make another one now. There we go, it really is as simple as that. We throw that in, and then we throw in our two hook launchers, and we craft it, and it's made us a three-dimensional movement gear that is anti-personnel based. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at the classic ODM gear first, and then look at the anti-personnel version. So, to equip them, you first have to get yourself a harness, which, as we can see here, extremely cheap to craft, but you need to craft one for depending on which gear you want to use. So, let's grab ourselves the classic one. To equip this is literally as simple as right-clicking. Then, once you've got it on, you click E, and there's now, with this mod, a little plus in the top right corner of your inventory. Clicking on that brings up the ODM gear screen. And then we'll just equip ourselves the scabbard, brings up a new menu. And this is where you equip your blades, your thunder spears, and your canisters. So the first things first is we're going to need to grab ourselves some handles, which can be crafted in the same way you craft the components. So, with these two handles, we'll then also want to get ourselves some blades. Let's get ourselves, let's say, 4 blades to play it safe, and we'll quickly equip these. There we go. And then we're going to need some gas canisters. But you might notice that these canisters come empty, so we're going to have to fill them up. And that's what this device here, the evaporator, is for. So you'll need a evaporator, and to store the gas, you're obviously going to need a gas tank. If we pull ourselves the one we got here earlier, of this ice burst canister, we can then shift right click to open up the evaporator, right click to power ice bursts in, and if we close it, it'll start creating us some gas. And as you'll notice over here, this should, in a second, slowly begin to tick up as the gas processes into it. Yep, it is slowly going up. Then you'll just want to take your canisters and refill them like this. You simply right click and it fills them up. So, if I grab myself some full gas canisters. So, now that I've grabbed myself those, I'm also going to grab myself some thunder spears quickly. And thunder spears in this mod come in 2 varieties. We have a distance-based, and we have a time-based one. And that will determine how they blow up. But for this, let's use ourselves some distant-based. And let's equip everything we've just got. There we go. Now, personally, I do recommend going into your settings and messing around with how you want the settings to be. And I also recommend going into the mod config, because by normal, when you hold down the button to shoot your cable, it stays attached for as long as you hold it down. Whereas personally, I prefer it to be you shoot the cable and the cable stays in, and then you click the button again and the cable comes out. But it's all down to personal preference. There's a lot, and I mean a lot of different options for you to mess about with, so I recommend doing that first. So to actually equip your blades onto your handles, you're going to want to do this. You literally just move them across in your inventory. Then, when you're ready to activate your ODM gear, you click, in my case, Z, which will bring up this little menu. And then, I think by default, it's set to H to draw your blades out. So as you can see, you can do quite a cool little swipe attack, which is obviously meant to be used to cut the nape of a Titan. And you can also swing with one at a time. So, let's have a quick swing around and I'll talk you through the basic controls. You want to attach one anchor, and then swing. You can, of course, attach both anchors at a time, if I can get a good angle on this. I'll be honest, the ODM gear does take a lot of getting used to. It is a difficult thing to use, but I like that, because it is quite thematic of this series. So, one of the most important things to understand is that you've got a boost, and if you look in the bottom left, just above the quick bar, you'll see that there is a black bar. Now, if I hold down Control, that starts to go up. And that shows how much boost I'm using at once. Now you can double tap the boost mid-air to get a bit of a dodge, so if you need to rapidly change direction, that's how you do that. And then you also want to, basically, to go really quick, you just reel in and boost. And this does, like I said, take quite a bit of getting used to before you'll be able to do, well, good maneuvers. It is very intuitive, but it's also just, it's a matter of getting the timings down and learning to aim with your hooks. There's a lot to it. Ooh, we have got this Titan here. So, if you shift, right-click, you'll see we have now equipped Thunder Spears. Of course, we can just shoot these. And they do a substantial amount of damage. Which is very, very fun. Ooh. One small thing that is actually really worth talking about is that you can do this. If you deactivate your gear with a hook attached, the hook does still stay attached. It is very cool, but you can still drop your handles while you're like this and get yourself stuck, so it's something to keep in mind. So, now that we've looked at the classic ODM gear, let's go and look at the anti-personnel version. So, same thing as before, we click the little plus on the corner, we equip ourselves the harness, we equip ourselves the anti-personnel gear, we put on the handles. So something that's quite cool that you might notice is that however many bullets you put on your leg is however many bullets actually appear on your leg in-game. I find that really cool. It's probably just a bit of a dumb thing for most people, but I love stuff like that. So, we get ourselves the gas cartridge, we equip that, goes in there, and we're ready to use it. But as you may notice, that means that we actually have less gas on this than we do on the others. And that's not the only difference in how this thing handles. The most noticeable difference between the classic and the anti-personnel version of the ODM gear is this. Yeah, the guns are able to shoot through grass, and they are very cool. Just like with the actual series, you cannot shoot and hook on with the anti-personnel version. So, I'll show you here. We can only shoot with our left side. We're not able to shoot with our right side. Let me see if I can't kill this villager. There we go. Because our right side is hooked into the top. So the other major thing to keep in mind is that while the swinging does feel more or less the same, you are swinging from a different position. You are swinging from above rather than from below. So it's a substantial thing that is worth keeping in mind. But this has been Wings of Freedom, a very cool mod and one that you should definitely check out.